Now on CoastTV News.
Honoring a fallen hero.
It's hitting us all hard.
The Bethany Beach community mourns the loss of a former EMT after a tragic helicopter crash.
Drought conditions across Delmarva, the extra measures local farmers are taking to keep their crops alive during this dry weather.
A traveling war memorial.
For us, Memorial Day is every day.
This tribute to sacrifice has made its way to Lewis, honoring service members lost in Iraq and Afghanistan.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
A former Bethany Beach EMT killed in tragic circumstances. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with the Bethany community remembering that fallen hero.
James Welsh was that former EMT, also a Sea Colony Beach Patrol member. He died in a medical helicopter crash in Kentucky. Coast TV News reporter Brandon Ferguson is live in Bethany Beach. Brandon, you spoke with people who knew and worked with James Welsh.
It's been somber here at the Bethany Beach Volunteer Fire Company since the learning of this tragedy. People that knew and worked with James Welsh are just remembering the good times. James Walsh was a first responder on the way to render aid when tragedy struck. According to a senior air safety investigator, the helicopter he was on clipped a power line, crashed, and killed all 3 people on board.
It's hitting us all hard.
James Welsh graduated from Sussex Central High School. He got his start as a pool supervisor at the Sea Colony in Bethany Beach. Sea Colony Beach Patrol Captain Dave Griffith remembers Welsh's humble beginnings.
He had to get his first responders to become a pool supervisor, and I think that's kind of what drove him to where he was, and made him such a, just opened up the door for him to help people more.
Welsh then became a EMT at the Bethany Beach Fire Company. Bethany Beach EMS Assistant Chief Philip Bracken remembers what stood out the most to him about Welsh.
That contagious smile. I'll never forget that. It was the same smile the day I hired him to the last day that he was working for us.
During his time as EMT, Welsh received an award for his work.
In 2017, there was a car accident here in Sea Colony West, and James Welsh responded to that accident. A cardiac arrest was taking place, and for James Welsh's life-saving actions, he received a Phoenix Award.
Sussex County mourning the death of a young hero who meant so much to the people he worked with, the lives he touched, and the lives he saved.
Just an unbelievable guy, and it's a huge loss.
Making this story all the sadder, Welsh leaves behind an unborn child and a pregnant wife. To donate to the Welsh's Family GoFundMe, you can find that on CoastTV.com or the Bethany Beach Volunteer Fire Company's Facebook page. In Bethany Beach, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
Visitation will take place Sunday, October 20th from 1 to 4 at the Long Neck Chapel of Melson Funeral Services, followed by a second visitation on Monday, October 21st. A massive Christian burial will follow at 11 a.m. That is at Mary Mother of Peace Catholic Church in Millsboro, with a eulogy beginning at 10:45 a.m.
The Lewis Police Department is sweetening the deal for new recruits. Listen to these numbers here. Starting salaries for officers are now going to go up to $75,000. The city announced that this week, and it's not just new hires. Current officers also got a raise. Officials say it's thanks to unused funds from the city budget.
It's a big step to negotiate or to have something provided for us outside of a contract negotiations. Just shows that the city is valuing the police officers and their roles.
It is a significant increase. Starting salaries for Lewis police officers were advertised at $63,000 just earlier this year.
New in Milford, construction is underway on Route 1 north of Old Cemetery Road. The new fixes will make it easier to switch lanes and turn on to other roads close by. The goal is to make it much safer for drivers on the very packed road. Whiskey Roughton works right off the highway and says the roads can always use some fixing.
They need to, because this is a dangerous place out here. I mean, even trying to leave work every day, it's like a rat race. I mean, it's ridiculous, There's accidents all the time right here. It's just, they need to do something to make it safe, even this emergency.
There's no timeline yet on when that will be done.
Quick heads up in Ocean View, Substation Road between Burbage Road and Beaver Dam Road, that's going to be closed starting next Tuesday. It's going to last until December 6th. DelDOT says the months-long closure is needed for resurfacing and drainage work.
We are taking a live look right now outside into Lewis as our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us now with a look at our forecast. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Maddie. Now, the last time we had any significant rain, measurable rain really, over 1/10 of an inch of rain, was actually September the 27th. And now we have some new maps as far as the amount of drought conditions we're dealing with across Delmarva, as well as specifically Sussex County. Now, you see this area right here that's colored in orange. Well, actually, this is actually where we have severe drought that's actually happening from Lewis to Millsboro, Bethany Beach, and places in between. Now, outside of that, we're looking at moderate drought, at least for places like Milford, Seaford, and down towards Bethany Beach. Now, when you also take a look at our 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook from the 22nd to the 26th, it looks like we're going to stay drier than normal for the entire peninsula. So we're not seeing much in the way of relief happening in the form of rain. And as you widen the scope here, you can see we're not alone. This is covering the mid-Atlantic as well as the Northeast, southern New England area. And so we have a dry pattern that's settling for the eastern side of the United States in general. That's going to exacerbate the problem because this dry situation is going to make those who are concerned about burns or burn bans, that's still going to be on a heightened level of concern, Maddie.
And Paul, it is day 2 of that statewide burn ban due to the drought and extremely dry weather. And it's not only that, these conditions are causing quite a challenge for farmers. CoastTV reporter Zakiya Jennings shows us how these farmers are pushing through.
Dried up tomatoes, dried up grass. These are the conditions our local farmers are dealing with. The state is under a burn ban that seems to have no end in sight due to dry weather conditions. Owner of Sassafras Farmstead in Georgetown, Justin Quay, says moving his animals every week to a different paddock is a big help.
That way they get fresh new ground, and that helps to limit the damage done to the ground and allow the plants to recuperate in time for the winter time to hit.
Though he's worried that if we don't get any rain soon, his efforts to limit damage might not be enough. Sherry Long and her husband run Red and Rooster Farm in Georgetown. Long says they are a farm-to-table household, but right now, actually getting things to the table is a problem.
This year, because of the fact that we have the loss of the rain so early, I am having to struggle to try to make sure that we get whatever harvested that needs to be so that we can have it for consumption.
They also have a fire pit, which you can see here. Long says this picture is something they might not see for a while due to the burn ban.
Even if you're just walking outside, you can feel it under your feet. Just the grass is so dry. You can almost hear it as if it's crunchy or breaking underneath your feet as you're walking. It's just that dry outside. But farmers say no matter what the conditions are, they are going to make the most of what they have. In Georgetown, I'm Zakiya Jennings, Coast TV News.
And on CoastTV.com, we have more information right now that you need to know about burn bans and rules to follow during these dry conditions across Delmarva.
We have new information from Delaware State Police about a crash that involved a school bus in Lewis on Wednesday. Here's what the scene looked like just before 3 on Savannah Road and West Coast Road. Police say a school bus was heading west on Savannah Road. At the same time, a Mercedes was waiting to exit a parking lot and stopped for traffic. The bus stopped and signaled for the Mercedes to enter the road. As it did, the Mercedes hit the side of a second school bus that was in the left turn lane. Good news, though, firefighters who responded say nobody was hurt.
A national memorial made its way to the Lewis Ferry grounds today. The Remembering Our Fallen Memorial honors those who have lost their lives following 9/11 in the War on Terror. The memorial includes over 5,000 photos of those who have died. John Nervous is a veteran himself who has friends on those banners.
You know, the best way to honor them is to make sure that they're never forgotten. And this is a great tribute to honor their memory and their sacrifice.
The memorial will be open Friday and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. On Sunday, it closes at 8 with a closing ceremony is set for 1 p.m.
And this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know what aspect of the memorial is the most meaningful to you.
Let's take a look at the updated results from last news hour. 90% say honoring that sacrifice. military flyover, community support, and personal connections. All, I believe people appreciate all of those aspects of it, but honoring sacrifice is
clearly
number
the number one there. If you haven't voted yet, you can go do that at CoastTV.com or use our mobile app. You can also leave comments there, and we'll show you updated results on Coast TV News at 11.
DART's 27th annual Stuff the Bus Thanksgiving food drive is back in early November. DART is trying to collect 20,000 pounds of non-perishable food for the Food Bank of Delaware. The drive runs for 6 days across 6 locations, including a stop in Rehoboth Beach on Monday, November 4th at that Giant Food. If you can't make it, donations can also be made directly to the food bank.
Having a rough week? Why don't you cheer up with a weekly dose of local news? Good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. Easy to sign up. Just go to CoastTV.com/sign up.
And we are just getting started this evening.
A time capsule ceremony in Rehoboth Beach. Memorabilia the city placed at the new Rehoboth Beach Patrol headquarters.
And the dry conditions will continue for the foreseeable future as we track a big area of high pressure beginning to build in, plus a bit of a warming trend going into the weekend and onto next week. Your full forecast coming up.
But first, from cruelty to cuddles, that's our heartwarming story in this week's Coastal Connections when we're back in just 60 seconds.
My brothers and I were blessed with loving parents. They paid into Social Security and Medicare their entire lives. Now, some politicians in Washington want to take away the benefits seniors across Delaware have earned. I'm Sarah McBride. In the Senate, I helped lower prescription drug costs. In Congress, my priority will be making it easier for people to pay their bills and afford to retire. I approve this message because Social Security is a promise after a lifetime of hard work.
Design a custom home that fits your unique style and budget with Accessible Home Builders. At Accessible, we provide you with a variety of customizable options to create the home of your dreams.
Accessible Builders provided us with a beautiful home.
Scott is full of ideas from his past experiences, and he really worked with us on all our custom asks and wants.
We would definitely recommend Accessible Builders.
Completely customize your dream home with Accessible Home Builders.
From a life of unimaginable cruelty to a warm and loving home. That was the sad beginning but bright future of nearly 20 dogs rescued from a Bridgeville home found in deplorable conditions. In this week's Coastal Connections, let's meet a pint-sized survivor and some of her fellow pups who now they're making their adoption debut this weekend. Millie the Boston Terrier's days are filled with toys, walks, and love.
She is adorable. She is very friendly and very sweet.
Millie's mom, Renee, adopted her from the Brandywine Valley SPCA. Millie was one of 20 dogs rescued from a Bridgeville home, sick and neglected. Her former owners are facing criminal charges.
It's devastating. If you don't see things around you, you assume everybody's good. So when you hear something like that, it just shakes you. It makes you concerned for humanity because it's just horrible what people can do.
From cruelty to cuddles, Millie is right at home. And a few of her fellow survivors, like Candy and her puppies, including Kit Kat, will make their adoption debut this Saturday at the Brandywine Valley SPCA's block party in Rehoboth Beach.
It's really all about the animals and raising money to make sure that we can keep helping animals just like this.
The block party will be their first step towards a new lease on life, just like Millie's.
It makes me feel great, and in fact, I feel like she's given me more than I've given her.
Because every dog deserves a happy home, and maybe a few kisses too.
Yes.
For Coastal Connections, I'm Madeline Overturf.
This morning's weather forecast courtesy of Bath by Spicer Brothers, a Delmarva tradition for over 20 years.
Welcome to the brand new Bath by Spicer Brothers showroom.
Experience the future of bathroom remodeling. Baths by Spicer Brothers is Delmarva's exclusive BCI Elite dealer, offering more selections, styles, and colors, including options like the laser etch tile pattern system. Made in the USA, built for beauty and performance, our baths are durable, mold resistant, and guaranteed for life.
With no money down, no interest, and no payments until 2026, you have no reason to wait.
Call Baths by Spicer Brothers today because you deserve the best.
At Ashley, it's not just the Black Friday event. It's the Ashley stain-resistant fabric Where Have You Been All My Life Black Friday event. But don't wait, because it's also the Shop VIP picks like this fluffy chaise for just $5.99 Black Friday event in tax-free Delmar and Millsboro, Delaware.
Brian, what's the difference between treated wood and composite decking?
Treated wood decking costs less, but requires a lot of maintenance over the years. Composite decking looks like wood, but won't fade, curl, or rot. It's insect resistant, maintenance free, and comes with a lifetime warranty. Get composite decking for the same price as treated lumber through October, extended just for you.
Paul Davis can bring the showroom to you as soon as tomorrow.
And we'll give you an estimate that day.
Call Paul Davis, the restoration and remodeling experts.
There's DNA. Then there's heavy-duty DNA. HDNA. It's engineered into every aspect of the GMC Sierra HD. With the pulling power to prove it. Tow hitches of the world, prepare for glory. Get 3.9% APR on 2024 Sierra heavy-duty models. We are professional grade GMC.
Right now, pet dander, skin cells, mold spores, pollen, and dirt are being sucked into your air ducts. Get cleaner air and system efficiency now with Stanley Steamer. For over 75 years, we've continually engineered our equipment and processes to deep clean your entire home. Your air ducts aren't clean until they're Stanley Steamer clean.
At Ashley, it's not just the Black Friday event. It's the Ashley stain-resistant fabric Where Have You Been All My Life Black Friday event. But don't wait, because it's also the Shop VIP picks like this fluffy chaise for just $5.99 Black Friday event in tax-free Delmar and Millsboro, Delaware.
In Maryland, we live closer to the halls of the Senate than anywhere in America. But often, it feels they're on another planet. Because when it comes to what's impacting your life, Washington's nowhere to be found. We can take on corporate price gouging, causing prices to skyrocket, expand access to affordable prescription drugs, keep our neighborhoods safe, and protect your hard-earned retirement. I'm Angela Also Brooks, and I'll be a senator focused on you. That's why I approve this message.
Listen to Big 107.7, Delmarva's classic rock station.
It's an interesting amalgam of things that's happening right now. We're dealing with drought. We're dealing with very gusty winds, which actually dries things out a little bit more. And then in addition to that, because of those same winds, it's pushing the water along bay cities and those that are right along the shore into a situation where they may have to watch out for a little bit of flooding. That's, even though as odd as that may sound, those things aren't necessarily mutually exclusive. They all actually make a part of the same mix, and we'll go through that in a moment. Bay Health camera in Milford dropping to 49, clear skies right now. We are in the 50s, 58 in Milton and in Seaford, 1 degree cooler than that currently in Delmar. We talk about the winds pouring out of the north. We're talking about a dry wind. It's still staying active. And because of the backside of a low pressure system, we're concerned about a coastal flood advisory that's just been issued for Sussex until 1 o'clock. Basically, it's for those towns that are right along any kind of waterway, because we're seeing a push. Because all this pink you see here, which is our small craft advisory, well, all that wind is pushing some water right on along the shore. And although, ironically, we're dealing with drought conditions, we have the chance of 1 foot of inundation in some bayside and some areas that are right along large body of water. And that push with that wind goes all the way down to Chincoteague and around the entire Delmarva Peninsula. Now, the low pressure system I'm talking about is located out here in the Atlantic. The counterclockwise rotation is bringing in that push that could nudge that water right along shore. That's where that possibility of coastal flooding comes into play. Not regular flooding, just coastal. Now let's talk drought. New maps issued, and we see severity of drought throughout Lewis, Millsboro, Bethany Beach, and all places in between. For the rest of Sussex County, we're at least at moderate drought. And when you take a look at the entire peninsula, you can see no matter where you are on the Delmarva Peninsula, you're either dealing with abnormally dry, moderate drought, or severe drought. That's where we are. Overnight, Clear skies dropping into the 40s. And when you take a look at our futurecast, you see we start off in the 40s, winds out of the north. We can't even pick up cloud cover now. So what little moisture we had in the upper atmosphere, that's no longer the issue. Take a look at your weekend planner. And as you take a gander at what to expect for Saturday and Sunday, we're looking for beautiful sunshine and warming up nicely, but still no rain. In fact, cloud cover is going to be hard to come by. Finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling Extended Forecast. At least this piece of good news I want to pass along. We're going to warm up nicely into the upper 70s to near 80s into next week. But the bad side of that, Charlie, is I'm still not looking at much in the way of moisture until next Wednesday and Thursday. And even then, we're still not talking about rain.
Keep an eye on that, Paul. Take a look at this. The city of Rehoboth Beach recently held a time capsule ceremony. I love a good time capsule. This was at the new Rehoboth Beach Patrol headquarters, which is under construction. Some of the items include a 1950s black and white uniform, top, and a 1980s striped trunks. A reminder, the deadline is quickly approaching for, we're moving on here, quickly approaching for Draper Media's Bless Our Children campaign. Tomorrow is the final day for those nonprofits to submit applications.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
As we approach the end of the fall sports season on Delmarva, there's still a few incoming classics before the postseason begins. One of them is today in field hockey, where two reigning state champions in Cape Henlopen and Delmar face off. On the Cape Henlopen side, it's been another year of dominance for Kate Austin's group. The Vikings are a perfect 12-0 and have outscored opponents 63-6 in those contests. Cape Henlopen won the matchup between these teams a year ago in a 2-1 thriller, and the squad with championship experience has been led offensively by an underclassman. The sophomore Emily Wells leads the way in points with 14 goals and 6 assists for the Vikings this season. And on the Delmar side, the Wildcats are in the running for their 9th straight state title, an unheard of number that they are on pace for. Delmar sits at 11-1 this year, with the lone loss coming at home to Smyrna back in late September. The Wildcats are fueled by superstar Jordan Holloman, who has 44 of the team's 73 goals in the 2024 campaign. Make sure to tune in to the final score tonight at 11 p.m. for highlights of the action and so much more. And make sure to subscribe to DSN Plus so you don't miss the live games like this one that we have on weekdays each and every week. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night, everyone.
Welcome to the brand new Baths by Spicer Brothers showroom. Experience the future of bathroom remodeling. Baths by Spicer Brothers is Delmarva's exclusive BCI Elite dealer, offering more selections, styles, and colors, including options like the laser etched tile pattern system. Made in the USA, built for beauty and performance, our baths are durable, mold resistant, and guaranteed for life.
With no money down, no interest, and no payments until 2026, you have no reason to wait.
Call Baths by Spicer Brothers today because you deserve the best.
This morning's weather forecast courtesy of Baths by Spicer Brothers, a Delmarva tradition for over 20 years.
When your floor starts showing signs of wear and tear from all the fun and games, Carpet and Tile Mart makes it easy to afford and install new flooring within a week. Carpet and Tile Mart, available, affordable, at your service.
Get ready, Delmarva. Excitement and incredible savings have arrived at Gateway Subaru. Save up to $3,200 on a new 2025 Subaru Outback with financing rates as low as 1.9% for 48 months. Or save up to $2,300 off a new 2024 Subaru Crosstrek with financing rates as low as 1.9% for 48 months. And be among the first to drive the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester. Stop in and reserve yours today. Gateway Subaru, just minutes from the beaches in the heart of Delmarva. Higher standards.
In 1925, a simple bank ledger began journaling the transactions of life in Willards, Maryland. New houses, barns, and farm equipment. Growing families and businesses both big and small. A record through time of hardship and prosperity. 100 years ago, the founding of the Farmers Bank of Willards was vital to the town. 100 years later, banking has changed, but the Farmers Bank remains steadfast in its original mission, keeping and reinvesting millions of dollars right here for the benefit of our communities.
When I asked for your vote 3.5 years ago to be your Sussex County Councilman, I pledged to you that I would work aggressively to manage residential development in our community. I spearheaded an increased buffer ordinance, which is now law. During my 3.5 years on County Council, I have also been actively involved in saving almost 2,000 acres of land in our community, which will never be developed. I ask for your vote on November 5th so I can continue the fight.
At Carpet and Tile Mart, we've got thousands of in-stock flooring solutions for every room. Now save up to 50% off, plus 0% financing up to 36 months. Hurry in before the sale is over. Only at Airbase Carpet and Tile Mart Flooring Supercenters.
Celebrate the season with the 4 best days of fall at Sunfest. Experience the ultimate celebration of food, drinks, arts, crafts, and entertainment along the boards from October 24th to the 27th. Embrace fall by enjoying a seaside tractor ride, chilling around a beach bonfire, navigating a corn maze, or participating in a pet and bicycle event. Shop around over 200 arts and crafts vendors. Immerse yourself in music with an incredible lineup of free musical performances. Enjoy the free family fun all day. For more information, visit ococean.com/sunfest.
WRDE First Alert Weather, brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland.
The New York Jets taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers this Sunday night. You can catch coverage on Coast TV. That begins at 7.
Well, what begins at 7 tonight is the temperatures falling into the 50s and staying there with winds pushing out to the west at 5 miles per hour. We'll dip down to 55 in clear skies for tonight. Umbrella giveaway winner is actually Kelly Repka of Lewis. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. Concerned about coastal flooding because of winds pushing along the shore and the small craft advisory active, but you can keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, sponsored by the law offices of Beardman Dallas, Broadstead, and Federico. Finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Unfortunately, still not getting any rain for the farmers and the folks that need that precipitation.
Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great night.